Alright, so this is just a little bit on your forehand, so we're just going to go through your forehand and just to look at some of the stuff that we're looking at. Now let's just go frame by frame. We're looking at slow motion going back. Okay, the ready position was pretty good. You had your racket out like this. But the most important thing, what I want to see is I want to see your racket turning back like that to separate, and then you're going to swing through and catch. You'll notice that your racket went from high, low, high. I just want your racket to pivot, and then you drop into the swing and have a nice follow through. So let's just see your swing now. See how that high, low, high went? And now you're swinging through. You're having a nice contact point way out in front. Do you see how your eyes are looking at the ball, which is really cool? And then you swing through, and then you got a nice, let's see the catch. Okay, you're folding away before you really catch. So at the end, do you see how your elbows have folded up? At the end of the swing, you want to make sure that the swing goes through and then the elbows are finishing up here, and you're having a very nice follow through in your catch. Let's see the next time.
Awesome.
Okay, that's not bad, but we really want to make sure that the follow through is all the way through.
Now, switch. Haven, you're up. Melissa, you're out.
Okay, so let's go back again. Let's start in the beginning. Okay, let's look at it normal speed. Okay, then we're just going to look at the next one in slow motion. So there's your ready position. You have your racket head up, which is great. You have your shoulder turn. Now if you look there, Haven, I would keep your hand on the racket for longer. So when I'm here, when you're here and you're turning, I keep my hand on my racket for longer before I separate. You are separating here, and so you're still facing the net. I need you to turn a little bit more first and then separate so you really have a nice shoulder turn. But you're coming through nicely. You're stepping into the ball, making nice adjustments. You have a nice contact out in front. Now, if you notice, you see how low your elbow is over there, and you notice that your hip hasn't really faced the net. You are busy turning, but you see how low the right elbow was. So when you're swinging through next time and when you're hitting the ball, make sure the elbow is up high. I don't want you to be pulling the racket down, but otherwise it looks really great. Okay, so let's see what your shot's doing, Grant. So now we're watching your shot. You're stepping into the ball. Nice movement. You see how your left hand is on the racket? You have a nice turn. That was really great. You're setting up the wrist, the left arm separating. Now you notice that there's not much weight transfer just yet, so let's see. See how your left arm has already gone to that side of the body, so you're opening up quite early. You might be a little late. Your elbow's a little jammed in your body there. You see where your left arm is, or on this other side of your body. So when you're late like this, and your left arm is already pulling away, the habit, and I can guess right now, is you're going to flip your racket over. Just because you're late, you're going to flip it over. You want to hit it more out in front, track the ball and extend. So watch what happens carefully with your racket. You see how you're twisting your wrist here? See how it's flipping over? And only then is the elbow coming up. You see how low that racket is? That racket head's down there. And then you're tidying up with the left hand and you're trying to make it look good. But the most important thing with this forehand is you don't want to use so much wrist through the head. You want to extend with a straight arm and up and over. But it's still looking good, Grant. You're really playing well. Keep up the good work.
What?
Okay, Daniel, let's see what you got. Okay, very nice step. We're going to see the first one in normal motion. Okay, let's see your last one. You turn and pause. It's looking great. You have a great turn and pause. You got your landing down. Now if you notice there, you'll notice that your contact point is a little late and you're a little jammed. Okay? I want your contact point to be heading out here. I want your elbow a little bit further away from your body. You're starting to get your weight transfer, which is good. But you see how there's no extension with your arm. You really want, when you're hitting the ball, to be extending more through the ball. So really try and get a little bit more extension through the ball if you can, Daniel. Okay, Danny, I think I'm going to do you next because you're lefty. Let's see, Matt. Okay, let's see Matt in normal motion. Nicely done. And let's see the next in slow motion. Very nice turn. You're setting up nicely. What would help you better is if this right foot turns a little bit to the side, which would help you open up your hips a little bit to the sideways so you really coil more of your body. So you're heading through the ball. I think that's not your best example. Let me take the first one. I think that's a better example for me to use, because that's typical. You see how you did do the foot correctly and you're stepping nicely into the ball. You have a nice landing there. You're doing a little bit of the wrist and it's a little bit open now, so we want to talk about getting it more closed. That means that instead of going down on edge, you're going to be a little bit closed to help you with more topspin. You're coming through. Let's see the contact. Now you see how your left arm is getting caught here. You want to have your left arm here, so you finish up with a hand-to-hand finish. But you do have a very nice extension there, Matt. But I really want to finish up hand-to-hand if you can. Okay, Jordan. Let's see, Jordan. Now, if you look carefully, Jordan, and I know that just quickly jumped, but look how that racket gets back. So we call this a reset. When you get your racket pivoting back, your racket must go past Michigan. So if you got your shirt here, the racket must be going past your eyes. I do not want to see the racket dropping down, going and hit. We call that a reset, or a high, low, high kind of swing. It must pivot and then drop. Everything else in your swing looks pretty good because I've been watching this earlier, but this is a really good. So you turn. Watch the racket suddenly dips here, then it goes up at the back, and then you step and hit. But from here on, the stroke is very nice. Nice extension, good toe, left elbow up, racket out in front. So, Jordan, I really like what your stroke looks like, but I don't like the fact that your racket comes down from below. Okay, Danny, I think we're going to go to the other side. Let's see, Danny. Okay, Danny, so we're going to look at, you got your grip, which is a bit more than a 3. It's a 4 or 5, almost a Western grip. You're pivoting, you're going around, so you're getting behind the ball. You're trying to get underneath the ball, but really, straight away, do you see how your weight transfer, you are leaning back? And that comes a lot from the fact that you're going to be late and you're used to hitting a ball right up here. So we're going to work on some things, not too bad. But I really want you to be leaning forward through the hit and having a good weight transfer and not leaning so far back. Here you come across. Now one of the things with this grip is the hand itself doesn't really get below the ball enough, but your racket head does drop a little bit below the ball. I need more of your hand to get below the ball. Do you see how your elbow right here is still quite low? Do you see how all your weight's still leaning back? And then you're whipping it over. You and Grant have some interesting similarities between the two of you, which is quite funny. But seeing that you're both good friends, but please make sure you're leaning forward through the head. But otherwise, that was great. Let's see the last one. See how you're leaning back on that one too. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.